And longtime Republican donor and Canary CEO Dan Eberhart, who is supporting DeSantis, and former Attorney General of Virginia and founder of the pro-DeSantis PAC Never Back Down, Ken Cuccinelli. All right, Ken, I'm going to start with you. Why announce the candidacy on Twitter with Elon Musk? Musk is he's eccentric, sometimes extreme. He has shared right-wing conspiracy theories online. What's the reasoning here?
Well, obviously the super PAC is separate from any campaign that governor is launching. We're excited to see him start it. But I think that both these folks share a commitment to free speech and keeping a free marketplace of ideas. They've both been very emphatic about that. The governor certainly in his role leading Florida. And it's frankly part of how he sees the battle clearly against the woke mob, which he is the only candidate looking at running for president, looking at standing up against these powers that already be. And he's doing it very effectively and thoroughly, even though some, like President Trump, for example, don't really appreciate that. And I think that there's some synergy there. There obviously isn't complete agreement between any two people, including these two, but it's an extraordinary and cool platform, frankly, to launch a campaign from. And at the Super PAC, we are very excited to see the governor decide to get in the race. We believe he offers the best chance for good leadership for America.
Dan, you're going down to Florida tomorrow morning. You'll be there for the whole event.
Sure.
Is it going to be super cool, as Ken just described? I mean, why do it this way?
I don't really know what to expect, but I'm excited to participate or be there, and looking forward to him hopefully announcing his candidacy tomorrow.
You don't think there's any risk tying yourself to Elon Musk at this very early inaugural event?
I don't at all. Look, Governor DeSantis is, leaning forward, leaning for the future, and I think it just shows a clear contrast between Donald Trump, looking backwards, and Ron DeSantis looking forwards. And I think Republican primary voters don't want to go back to the future.
You and I were talking about this a minute ago. The Trump Super PAC is already weighing in, even before he's done this. They're mocking the plan for tomorrow night, saying the only thing less relatable than a niche campaign launch on Twitter is DeSantis's after party at the uber elite Four Seasons Resort in Miami. This is from the guy who lives at Mar-a-Lago.
Right. Look, I think that it's very clear that Governor DeSantis is living rent-free in Donald Trump's head. It's very obvious that who is Donald Trump afraid of? He's afraid of Ron DeSantis and voters choosing Governor DeSantis over Donald Trump. And I think he should be. Look, Ron DeSantis is a proven leader who's proven that he can win races, he can govern conservatively, provide economic growth, and that he's got coattails for other Republicans.
You did say, though, a few weeks ago that DeSantis had to stop tiptoeing around Trump. What does he need to do now that he's announced?
Well, look, I think that he's been patient. He's been waiting to get through the Florida legislative session and enter the race. But now that he's entering the race, I think he needs to be more assertive and more, use his backbone a little bit more and answer some of these critiques from Trump on policy. I think, look, Governor DeSantis, I think, is going to stay out of the gutter because that's not who he is. That's not where he comes from, and that's not the kind of guy he is. But I do think he needs to hit back on Trump on policy and show, look, this is what I've done for the state of Florida. This is how I would lead the country if I was given the chance, versus what Trump's did and what Trump said. And I think that there's a clear contrast between a leader who puts points on the board and someone who just talks and keeps kind of changing around.
Yeah, but isn't that a lot of what Jeb Bush said last time around? I mean, isn't the Republican graveyard littered with presidential wannabes who decided to stay above the fray and not really get down in the mud and wrestle?
Look, I would flip the narrative on you. I think that Donald Trump is the Jeb Bush of this cycle, not the other way around. Look, he's the putative front runner that's supposedly doing well in the polls, that supposedly has all these supporters and endorsements. I think that Ron DeSantis has got the message, he's got the track record, and he's got the vision. And I think that ultimately the polls don't matter. It matters how people vote. And I think that once people look at both of these records, you're going to see conservatives are going to coalesce around Ron DeSantis when he gets in. You're going to see him defy expectations on fundraising, and you're going to see primary voters in Iowa and New Hampshire choose Ron DeSantis for their future, not Donald Trump.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.